crack myself up. I still haven't found my first Blanton's. That's different. I really like that. They're like together, like peas and carrots. That's funny. Sometimes accidents are good things. Peychauds or Pechauds or Pechaw. This is not what I expected. Hey everybody, it is Monday and beautiful bourbon time, and I want to say hi to everybody who's watching. Oh yeah. Hello. Okay, so let me turn down that volume because that's just going to throw me off. There we go. All right, so let me get my hardware out of the way. Tonight is Bottled and Bond night. It's flagship Bottled and Bond night. Heaven Hill. I have heard about this pour. That was nice and easy. I like that. I've heard about this pour for a while now, and now I finally got one. I've actually had it for a few months, and I am really excited to try it. This Kentucky bourbon, and really flagship bottle for Heaven Hill, pays tribute to the earliest days of the distillery. Excuse me, when in 1939 it first released Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. The namesake brand quickly became the #1 selling bourbon whiskey in the state of Kentucky at that time. Now, still today, the craftsmanship poured into this bottle by the same founding company meets the exacting standards first set forth in the Bottle and Bond Act of 1897. They have got a lot of heritage built into this bottle. The illustration on the front is Heaven Hill. It's hand-sketched. Heaven Hill is independently family-owned and operated by the Shapira family, not some foreign conglomerate. They're an American company. It's 100 proof. Now, a lot of Bottled and Bonds, the minimum for a Bottled and Bond is 4 years. This is 7 years. So that's kind of nice. It even says so on the label. This bourbon is 7 years old. Now, they had one before that was 6 years old, Bottled and Bond, 100 proof. They were selling that for under $15. Like some places you can get that for $12. And it was an amazing pour. It was an amazing bargain, and then they stopped bottling that. They raised it to 7 years, and they raised the price to, at the time, $40. Now in Ohio, it's $49.99 to get this bottle. I didn't get this one in Ohio. It's not available right now in Ohio, but I found this and bought it, and I had to jump. I had to get it. And I don't remember what I paid for it because I wasn't there to get this one. I was there to get something else, and I saw this and went, woo, and I got it. So that's a little history on that. Again, it's the same thing. It's a mash bill of 78% corn, 12% malted barley, and 10% rye. So this one also has a cork instead of the screw top. This is available everywhere, whereas the 6-year was only available in Kentucky. So that's one benefit. Again, you can't get it in Ohio right now, but it is what it is. So Bottled and Bond. What is Bottled and Bond? For those of you new to it, let me tell you what Bottled and Bond is, because you'll see it on all sorts of different whiskeys, ryes, even some things that aren't whiskey have Bottled and Bond on it. Basically, it's like this. To be labeled Bottled and Bond, a whiskey must be a product of one distillery and distilled during just one distillation season, which can run from January to June or July to December. It has to be aged for at least 4 years, has to be bottled at exactly 100 proof, has to bear the name and number of the distilled spirits plant, DSP, where it was produced, and if different, the DSP number at the bottling facility. Theirs is DSP KY1, making their Bernheim plant the oldest distillery in Kentucky, at least for the purposes of the excise tax that Abraham Lincoln imposed to fund the Civil War. Their bottling plant in Bardstown is DSP 31, and it says that on there. DSP KY1, Louisville, Kentucky. DSP KY31, Bardstown, Kentucky. So there you go. Why did they do that? In the early days of the American whiskey industry, not all the products were up to the same standards that we expect today. Less than scrupulous merchants would mix spirits with rectifiers, like prune juice, water steeped with tobacco, or even kerosene. In response, Congress passed the Bottled and Bond Act of 1897, guaranteeing whiskey quality, and that was started by Edmund Haynes, Colonel Edmund Haynes Taylor. That would be Colonel Taylor of the Buffalo Trace fame. So because the bottle and bond rules require that the spirit must come from a single distilling season, the number of barrels they can pull from it is limited. And just not even trying to smell this, it's so nice. Bill's watching, Larry's watching, Matt's watching. Hey everybody, how are you doing? I'm glad you're here. We're gonna give this the test here. Really hold on to the glass nice. The color is very nice. Very nice. All right. Yeah, it's got a sweet nose. Very sweet. I should have done this one when I was doing the Willet products, because the rumor is that the Willet distillery stuff, except for 3 bottles, it's all potentially sourced from Heaven Hill. I should have done this then. That's all right. It's fresh in my memory. It'll be fine. All right. Yeah, the vanillas and the cinnamons are really strong on this right off the top. A little honey as well. It's a lighter nose. It's not like a heavy nose, like a dark fruit. I'm trying to decide if I'm getting citrus or not. I'm looking for it. I'm not finding it. I think the honey is overtaking that. I've got something floating in there. I don't know what that was. I don't want to drink it. I'd lick my finger up, but I don't know if it's still on my finger. Ew. It might be sediment. I don't know. No, I don't see any sediment. Nothing floating around in there. No, it may just be something in the glass that didn't get washed out right. I don't know. All right. I don't really have any notes to add. I'm getting that honey and that cinnamon and that vanilla. It's just a nice sweet nose, so let's get into it. I sound quiet. That's interesting. I did another video a little while ago once about another topic, so maybe I'm feeling over-videoed. I don't know. Or it could be just I don't have my settings right, because I had to change my settings. Maybe if I turn this up here, we'll just turn it up a little bit. Maybe that'll help. There. All right. So it's 100 proof, and the bloom did not knock me off my stool. Very, very balanced though. Very nice. Go again. That is fantastic. That is nicely balanced. It's not overproofed for that 100. It's, what did I say, the 10% rye. So that's not a high rye. This might have made it into my top 25 pours. This is nice. I like this one. And I can't give such praises to everything. I could drink this one the rest of the night. It's the only bottle I got, so I ain't gonna. This is freaking good. It wouldn't kill it to have a little more rye, a little more spice, a little more oomph to it, but it's freaking good. Yeah, I'm going to recommend this bottle with a smile and a little fervor. This is really good. I mean, it's going to have a lot of those traditional notes. And again, this fits my palate. I've got I don't like sweet drinks. I don't like sweet foods, generally speaking. If I'm going to do chocolate, it's going to be a dark chocolate. I like red wine. It's probably why I like bourbon instead of other things. But by gum, this has got that sweeter side to it. The honeys, the caramels, the vanillas, the cinnamons, all those traditional notes. It's just there, but it's so well balanced, and they're just presenting themselves so well. I'm not going to tell you it's a super complex pour, but I'm not going to tell you it's a minimal pour either. This is actually very, very tasty, and it's not a whole body experience or out of body experience like Old Forester 1920 or something like that, but it's really, really good. Wow. Hits all those notes for me. All right, let's do water. I will tell you about something that happened this week that I was a little excited about. I was less than enthused about the local drop this week. Wasn't a whole lot of bourbons that excited me. I try to keep my finger on the pulse of that. I know some places were getting better stuff than I saw locally, but one thing that I saw locally, and let me get the water on this if I can find it. There it is. One of the things that I found locally that I was a little excited about was the 3 Olives. Come on. Totally boofed that up. There we go. 3 Olives had a triple espresso vodka that I was in love with. It made a great espresso martini with a little Kahlua. It's whipping cream or Kahlua and vanilla vodka. Stolichnaya has a really nice vanilla vodka that's hard to find now. So OYO, out of Middle West Distillery, Middle West Spirits out of Columbus, they make a vanilla bean vodka, which I'm anxious to try. But all that aside, it didn't matter without the espresso vodka. Now, there are other espresso vodkas out there and other things that you can get, but by gum, 3 Olives came back out with their espresso vodka. I bought 2 of these because if this is just a fluke, if they found a crate of it and wanted to send it out and they're still not making it, I didn't do any research into it yet. I need to find out, but I love this stuff. I love this stuff. Now, I love coffee, but this is a really great espresso vodka. Fantastic for that espresso martini and some other things. I could drink this right out of the bottle. For those of you mourning the loss like I am of the XO Cafe that Patron was making, this will fit the bill. It's not the same. It's not the same. But at least of the 2 products that had disappeared from shelves, this one came back, evidently. Unless it's a fluke, like I said. I wasn't going to chance it. I bought 2 bottles of it. I have a little bit out of my first bottle, my only bottle before these 2. So that was exciting to me. I saw that and I was like, ah! Okay. All right. Yeah. So a little water. I really enjoyed that pour as it was, so I don't know how I'm going to feel about it with a little water, but we're about to find out. Mouthfeel improved, got more buttery, silky. Has nothing to do with the flavor. When I say buttery, silky, viscosity, definitely improved it. It thickened it up a little bit, which was nice. It did open it up. The flavors just popped a little bit more. I'm not sure. There's another note that I got that I didn't get before on water, so let's do it again. If at first you don't succeed, keep drinking. That honey's just popping. That's what it was. The honey just came up a little bit more, and just a little bit of orange peel. Not the sweetness of orange, but more of the peel. Just a little orange peel on that. I was looking for the citrus before, and I couldn't find it. And by gummy, I found it this way with a little agua. All right. See what happens when the captions say agua. We're not getting there. It's not doing it. All right. It looks like we're a little bit stuttered again tonight. I've been having internet problems. The codes and everything look good on the system, so if we're stuttered, I apologize. I'll put up another version later that isn't so stuttered. But it's looking stuttered on the feed, and that's been happening lately. So I think Time Warner Cable, Spectrum, whatever they're called now, is just kind of screwing the pooch on. I even rebooted everything today just in case. So I apologize if it looks stuttered to you. Okay, get this done, then we'll put it on some ice. It's storming. We got thunder. Thunder! Yeah, that's just a really nice pour. Those honeys are really popping. Little of that sweet and caramel. Shoot. That's great. All right, so I haven't done this in a while. So I'm going to pull this out just to kind of refresh you on what I do with my gorgeous ice spheres. I've got two different ones. I've got the Winter Smiths that does 7 spheres at one time. I was excited about that product. I still like the product. I don't love the product. It uses an awful lot of water in the base of the thing to create the 7 spheres. And it takes a long time for it to melt. Yeah, you can put it on hot water, but I don't like doing that because I don't know what damage I might do to the mold. And I like the fact that you can get different molds for it and it does different things, but it's more of a learning curve. It's more cumbersome. I like this one that I can do 2 at a time. It's inexpensive. They sell them on Amazon. And Wintersmiths actually has a version of this, only it's 4 spheres, so I could do that. But you've seen the spheres that I've let sit too long, and they get all like frost covered and crappy looking. So doing 2 at a time, I think, is going to be the best solution for me to have gorgeous ice spheres. So I'm just going to, I just got this out of the freezer a couple of minutes ago before we started. This rubber is really durable. I have beat this up and I've never had any problems. But you open it up and they're flawless every time with this mold. I can't say the same for the Winter Smiths. I mean, give it a little polish. It's better looking than me. And come on. No, it's very pretty. Very pretty. All right. So this one is, I'm going to put it back in so it stays frozen. But and this is 165, number 165 Bourbcast. And in all that time, I've learned to know what I want to perfect and what I want to change. And this is something that's already perfected and I don't want to change. It just works out great. Now, if I had a party, I'd use the Winter Smiths because I want more spheres. You know, I can create, 3 times as many spheres in just as much time. And I could have, a bunch of them ready to go for a party. But for just this and for just me, that's enough. And because I use the gorgeous ice sphere, I'm using the gorgeous glass as well. All right, so far I've had great things to say about this Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. Will it hold up on ice? It's so gorgeous. All right. I think it's the storm. It might be the storm. Chris is watching. How you doing? I'm having a spicy pour tonight. Let's see. Chaz is with you. Hey, Chaz, how you doing, man? I'm glad you're with us. Thanks for stopping in and meeting me in person. That was great. Your aunt is very excited that we met. Just to throw that out there. She wants to get you involved in things, so be prepared. Let's see. Heard you always struggled with the rubber. Thankfully, this holds up on ice. You see how I'm just not responding to that. The radio side of me has so many things to say. But the classy, mature individual that you see before you. Yeah. Okay. Thankfully, this holds up. I can't say that for everything. This holds up. This is a solid pour. It's solid neat. It's solid on water. It's solid on ice. Would I want to put this in a cocktail? It could go in a cocktail and do just fine. Would I want to put it there? You know me. If I'm going to do a cocktail, I'm going to do something that's cheaper, easier to find, and cuts through all the ingredients. This would be fine in a cocktail, don't get me wrong, but this is so good just as it is. I wouldn't want to put this in a cocktail. You can. I don't want to. I'm going to get a little bit more on this ice though, because I didn't pour enough the first time. I probably should take it easy because the only thing I've had to eat today is a tub of yogurt. So this may affect me more than I want it to. Paul is not with us, I've noticed. I have not heard from Paul. I'm giving the ice sphere the finger treatment because it's Paul approved. It's Paul approved. So he'll catch it later and he'll comment. And one more for the road. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so next week. I may have a guest. Right now it's planned that I'm going to have a guest. And he's going to bring over a bottle that he's been wanting me to do a Bourbcast on for actually quite a while. I did try the pour. Right off the neck, it was fantastic. I want to see what it's done now that it's had some time to breathe and think about things. If for some reason that does not happen, if for some reason next Monday that Bourbcast has to change and my friend is not able to be here, life happens, work happens, I get it. I do have a backup. And you are not going to believe this. We're at, what did I say, at Bourbcast 165? Something like that tonight. And in all that time, I have never reviewed the flagship Knob Creek. I actually have a version of this with the old label on it before they changed the label like 2 years ago. And if for some reason my buddy can't come and he can't bring that bottle that he wants to bring, and we can't talk about it, then this is what I will do. But if he can come, I'm going to put this off. I'll move it to another time, and we'll hit it later. But I've done one Knob Creek and two. I did the twice barreled rye, and I did the smoked maple on Thanksgiving of 2021, I think. So it's been a while, and I've never touched the flagship drink, the pour of Knob Creek, another Jim Beam product. It kind of sits here, then Baker's kind of sits here, and then Booker's kind of sits here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens next week. If I don't get to this one next week, then we're going to move it till probably next year. Things change. We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys, that's it. That's kind of a quickie tonight. I didn't have a whole lot to go over. The Heaven Hill Bottled and Bond. By golly, if you can find this sucker, buy it. Buy two if you can. Buy two of them because you're going to want more than one. This is a nice pour, very good pour. One that I will put in my top 25 and I can recommend to you all day long. Very tasty, all the way from neat to water to ice. Just a delicious, delicious pour. Heaven Hill knocked it out of the park with this one. It has nothing in common with any of the Willet stuff that we tried. None of it. All that Willet stuff that apparently they provide the distillate for, all but 3. The Pot Still, the Willet Family Rye, and the Bardstown, Old Bardstown, they don't, that's Willet juice. But this one, it stands on its own. It's fantastic. It's a worthy name for the flagship. And if you get a chance to find this one, I found this one in Michigan. If you find this one, buy it. Buy 2. Really, really good. All right, that's it. Let's see if there's anything I'm missing. This is where we disagree. I think if you use something good, the cocktails are that much better. And I don't disagree with that. If you're making a cocktail and you use it the best way, the best bourbon, the best rye, whatever you want to use it for, great. I'm such a neat drinker. I talk to so many people who say, well, if you put this with this, it tastes just like a... I like the taste of bourbon. Paul, on his Facebook the other day, he had a picture of a bourbon. He said, I love bourbon. That's what it comes down to. I love the taste of bourbon, just the way it is. And rye and other whiskeys as well. I just like it the way that it is. And if I'm going to augment that with, simple syrup and bitters and smoke, whatever the case may be, some bourbons are just so good I don't want to do that with. Others are good enough, and they're plentiful enough, and they're cheap enough that I still really like them. Rittenhouse, Bullet, Wild Turkey 101, they're all fantastic pours. But because they're so available and so inexpensive, those are the ones that I will buy and put into a cocktail. They're still great. I would drink them neat. I'd drink them on water, drink them on ice, and enjoy myself. But for something like this, that's hard to find, a little bit on the expensive side at almost $50, I hesitate to put this in a cocktail. I like it just the way it is. I like it very much just the way that it is. And that's kind of the way I look at things. And nobody's wrong about this. I'm not saying that I'm right. That's the way I do it. And that's the way I make my recommendations with this stuff too. So, all right, guys. So next week, it's either going to be the one that my buddy wants to bring, or it's going to be the Knob Creek 100 proof 9-year, which I can't believe I've never reviewed, but I never have. So thank you again for watching. I do appreciate it. You guys have a fantastic what's left of your week, and we will see you next Monday on Beautiful Bourbon.